like you are my wife, there is a particular level of respect that you should give to me, and you should not put your pastor ahead of me. There've been that constant talk about why you respecting your pastor more than your husband is your. So there's always the old debates of all that kind of stuff. So in a particular scenario now, do you think the woman was disrespectful by giving the car that the husband gave to her to sow seed to the pastor, or do you think that she was just doing what God told her to do?
She was doing what God told her to do.
She said she sowed seed to the pastor.
So actually, okay, when I saw this post. Firstly, before I go into this, you see, African women, I don't know why we used to carry our pastor on our head. African mothers, that is what they do. When they see their pastor, they see them as number one God. Let me say the second God. After God, they are number second God. So any little thing they call them, this thing is happening to me, anything. Do you understand? Even before their husband. Marriage is a partnership, not a dictatorship. So if you feel you can decide yourself, it is very wrong. Talk less of the property your husband gave to you. It is not your own.
You gave it to one.
You gave it to her. No, it is in marriage. Any decision you want to make, it is not your decision alone.
Even though
it is you bought it yourself. Any decision you want to make in marriage, you should not decide alone. Your husband must know about it. That is why he's the head of that. Like, you don't honor him. That is why he's the head of the house. He's supposed to be aware of it. So you don't have to just go and do that. You are respecting your pastor over your husband.
So do you think the pastor should give him back the car?
I don't know about that. I don't know, because it is becoming a family matter, extended matter. Because I don't understand. That is so serious. What do you say about it?
I do. Well, there are two people to be blamed in this scenario: the wife and the pastor.
Why not the man?
No, the man has no case. The wife and the pastor. Let me start from the wife first. According to the pastor said that he prayed, that he carried out prayer. Okay, he prayed for the family, and God answered the prayer. And as a result of that answering, to show some level of appreciation to God, the woman now gifted the pastor the car that the husband bought for the wife. Like Ibuku said, it is highly disrespectful for the wife, to wake up one morning and gift the pastor a car that your husband bought for you. You would have, as a responsible wife, as a loving and honorable wife, you ought to have discussed it with your husband first.
Okay.
Maybe because the wife knew that the husband would not agree. That was why she did not discuss it with the husband.
She should have saw that seed now.
But courtesy demand that, despite the fact that that car was given to you as a birthday gift, you ought to have consulted first with your husband and say, darling, please, God has been good to us. Let me sow a seed. Let me sow this car as a seed in the life of our pastor. In the life of our pastor should show a sign of appreciation. And I even doubt if the husband is even going to the pastors, to the church.
No, he said they used to go to the church.
They used to.
But he stopped when he told the wife that the pastor is about money.
See, so I think it is very, very irresponsible, disrespectful rather, for the wife to have done that. And also, I also blame the pastor. Why? You said you prayed for somebody, and God answered the prayer, and as a result of that, the woman now gifted you a car. Have you asked that woman, is your husband aware? Wait, because no, seriously, have you asked that woman, is your husband aware that you are giving me this car? That is how irresponsible, no matter how spiritually filled you are, that is how a responsible pastor ought to have behaved. That even if the woman was still insisting here that she has discussed it with the husband, I expect that pastor to have approached the man that, brother, see the gift that your wife gave me. Are you in support of that? So that tomorrow there will not be an incident just like we just witnessed in that video, because the man was not aware that the wife gave the car to the pastor. So I'm coming. So I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Okay.
So I expect the pastor to have approached the woman first, to have asked the woman, is your husband aware that of this one? And if the woman said yes, then the pastor should take it further too, to approach the wife, the husband, that your wife gave me a car. Are you aware of that? If the husband said he's fine with it, then there's no need for argument.
Oh, but the wife is a surprise for the husband, like surprise.
Surprise in what? Even by the way, I even look at the husband self. I'm sorry. I'm not sure they are what to do. I don't know.
I think they have money.
They have money. Okay, because based on the way the man was, his interaction is the way he is.
Not like a tall person.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. I don't want to use that word, but I think so. I think men of God should be careful with the gift they receive from members. Okay, men of God should be careful, because not all gifts you receive from members will be accepted by God.
Can I come in?
Okay, please do.
I don't think the
pastor
the pastor should be blamed, because you see, actually seed to you.
The pastor should not be blamed. Didn't you see the trouble that they are in?
That's what I'm saying. That you see, God does not actually accept a seed that will cause conflict in your home. He does not accept it. That is where I am coming from. It is where I'm supposed to be blamed. To blame here is the wife and the husband, because number one, you should know that there is no proper communication in that marriage. If you want to go and sow a seed, you should have a proper communication with your husband before. It should be a marriage, not an individual thing. If the pastor is blessing is praying for your family, the pastor is not praying for only you.
Maybe that's the only candidate.
The pastor is praying for. So the pastor is overstepping boundaries. If the pastor is going to meet you or asking question that, are you sure your husband is aware? He's overstepping boundaries. He is overstepping boundaries. It's not business. This is business. It's not business. Even the husband, I'm yet to blame the husband is because you cannot handle your home. Then you are not even supposed to come and confront the pastor. You are supposed to handle this amicably in your home. It is a family matter, not a church problem. Your wife left a comfortable place, brought a car to the church to sow a seed to the pastor. It is not that the pastor was asking that, can you give me a car to sow a seed to God? That is different.
Maybe the man was even thinking about, like, buy one get two free.
I totally disagree. It is the responsibility of the pastor. You are a pastor. No, it is the responsibility. I still want to say it tomorrow. If as a man of God you receive a gift from a wife who has husband in the house, but what if I don't know the husband? I'm coming. You must know the husband. Right? You must know the husband. Because this is what we are facing in this country. If as a pastor a woman walked up to you and sow a seed and gave you a car, not even money, a car, as a responsible man of God that you claim to be,
I'll start asking questions.
Of course. Okay, if your child goes out and brings in something, would you ask the child what did
goodness and mercy when it comes to you? You don't ask questions. What kind of question is that? As a responsible, so they will car for me, and I'll be asking by Allah. No, I'll ask him. What kind of question is that?
Peradventure that car was stolen.
No. Now, what you can actually dedicated because you can actually see the soul. You can actually say a seed in church. As I'm saying, that car was stolen. That car that you. That's what I'm saying. That car that you carry the document of the car, right? You need to give me a car. You give me the document of the car. Yes, now.
You've not seen cars that are stolen with documents. You've not seen cars stolen with documents.
That is everything.
If you could try it now, I pray that you become a woman of God one day. And somebody will come and give you a car and you not make investigation. That's what I'm trying to say.
What kind of investigation is that?
I want to look for trouble.
You said that
I don't blame the pastor. I don't blame the wife. I blame the husband.
Blame the husband.
I'm listening.
So you have issue with me.
No, I don't.
Let's hear you.
So the wife wanted to like just sow a seed.
Yes.
And the point of sowing a seed is like, when you drop this one, God will give you back in like 10 folds.
Okay.
She knows that if I give this pastor this,
The pastor manipulated you.
you would have like 10 cars
Oh, God.
by the end of the year. You understand? So
You're whining our audience.
So she gave the pastor that car as a seed, right? So the man now, my wife, this car that I bought for you for birthday, what happened? Where is it? And she explained to you, my husband, I did sell one, get 10 free. She explained to him, but you know, we need to go and meet the pastor and was costing a sin outside.
Yes, he's not supposed. That's
So I don't blame
embarrassment.
the wife, I don't blame the husband.
He's not a man. He's not a man enough.
No man that with that rapper was not the same. With my boss, you go give this man back the car. You go.
You know, it's now Igbo people they always back.
So I totally blame the pastor.
I don't blame the pastor at all.
No, honestly, the pastor does not have any blame in this.
The pastor has.
Okay, so imagine, I am coming to your church. You didn't know me from anywhere. You are building a cathedral of the church, and I said, okay, I want to drop.
That is the roots. That is the root of corruption in this country.
Calm down. Okay, I want to calm down. Let me talk. Wait.
Okay.
I want to drop 5 million.
Yeah.
So you ask me, please come. Let's go into my office. How did you get 5 million? You ask me question. What kind of question is that?
Yes.
I want to say
responsibility.
what kind of responsibility is that? I want to do something for God. You ask me where I got 5 million. Because I want to steal the 5 million. One of your business, what I'm doing for myself. It's not having conflict.
Because not all money, not all donations
Should be taken to the church. I'm telling you that they are free that we used to pay. Say, do you know good of it? Do you know the yes, now you don't know.
That is the more reason why if you see any large amount of money,
Is it about large amount of money?
coming.
What about life?
We are talking about entrenching sanity in the society.
What if I lie to you that I have a business and I tell you the business and you see every very
I will leave you between you and God. So see, this is why churches these days are collapsing. This is why churches these days people don't regard the body of Christ anymore. Because I still want to say this.
Okay.
I expect that a woman, a married woman for that matter, walked up to you and gifted you a car, saying that you are sowing a seed. Perfect. It is good to sow seed.
Okay.
God is not disputing that. Sowing a seed. As a responsible man of God,
Okay.
as a responsible man of God, it is expected of you to investigate.
Do you know God is unpredictable?
God, you could stop that.
I'm telling you, God is unpredictable. That's because
we are talking about reality here.
Even a robber will bring tithes to God, and God will accept it. God will accept it. Why do you feel like those people that are wicked? They don't die. They don't die quickly. Because you see the way God used to do his thing, you can't judge.
No.
That is the thing. So you're saying that the pastor is not yet to be blamed. He's going to eat. He's human.
It's now. Don't say it's for the church now.
Oh God.
You don't get it. You guys are bringing up into God.
It's for the church.
You guys are missing it.
Don't say pastor.
You guys are missing it.
Say
No, you don't get it. That's what I'm saying. Like, pastors, they're not working.
Okay, wait.
Do you understand?
I cited an example. What if that car that you never care to investigate? What if that car was stolen? And when the owner saw you or sees you driving that car and approaches you and asks you that, man of God, this car that you are driving, who gave it to you?
A stolen car will never have documents.
Oh my God.
Have you seen a stolen car with documents?
Oh my God.
It's not trust it, but a stolen car with documents. You steal documents with stolen car.
I pray. I'm not saying that you will fall into trouble. I pray that one day you become a woman of God. And
I'm a child of God.
I know you're a child of
Not
God.
a woman
And
of
somebody
God.
walks up to you and gave you a car and you never care. You never care to investigate how that person got that money to buy that car, and you keep on driving that car, and at the end of the day the real owner of that car approaches you and start embarrassing you on the way. What will you say?
How do you know even the car we used to buy at the industry is not stolen car? So I beg, you could drive car, you won't drive.
The moral lesson of this is we pastors and the so-called men.
You pastors.
You're
a pastor.
I'm not a pastor. The men of God in this country, the men of God in this country, I would advise them that if you see any strange thing in your bank accounts, any large sum of money, that was deposited in your bank account, for the sake of of course, we have billionaires, we have genuine billionaires in this country that after watching a preaching on television, and they will just give money to that church account, of course. But I would advise men of God in this country that if you notice any strange deposits, okay, in your church account, make findings.
How?
I'm coming. Make findings. You can go to your branch manager or your bank or the person in charge of your account and make findings. We witnessed 10 billion or 500 billion or 500 million. Please, I don't know, can you investigate the depositor of this, so that tomorrow, because it was it not Oyedepo that was saying that I think there was a particular politician that made a comment that he gave Oyedepo some large sum of money, and Oyedepo came out to say that he has never in his life received any money from any politician. So I'm saying this so that the church will not be ridiculed. We are all Christians here. I'm saying this so that the church will not be thrown into, will not be ridiculed by these people who say that they donate. So that in my own church, my pastor used to say this, that if there is a big giver in our church, that there is no special treatment for that person, because if you start recognizing big givers in your church, at the end of the day, it is this big giver that will be dictating to you how you run your church. You understand? So that is that on the men of God. Now I'm coming. Now for the wife, please, women, we know that you love men of God too much, okay? But you must understand that there is a man that God has placed over you, and that man is your husband. So any move, anything that you want to do at all, for the sake of spiritual whatever, make sure that you first consult with your husband before you make any move towards the church. That's it.
There are pastors, like prominent pastors now, that people gift them cars, money, and they are strong men of God.
Of course.
So I don't think you'd say you would.
That is if those people have a personal relationship with the pastor.
Not all of them have personal relationship with the pastor.
No.
Yes.
No.
Because I've heard some pastor, I don't want to mention, say that someone just like one random man came to the church and gave him car. He said she sowed seed. So this kind of talks are
that's the normal thing.
You cannot say because of that happened now you now tag the pastor, because you know that they are good men of God.
Of course.
So I don't think I'll blame the pastor in this particular scenario.
Well, I will blame the pastor.
I won't blame the pastor in this
now
scenario.
That you guys don't want to blame the pastor, see the trouble that the pastor has gotten himself.
It is not. No. It is the wife. This is not even about church problem. This is the wife, the family problem.
And then the man shouldn't have gone to meet the pastor. Should have talked to his wife.
It is showing like he's not capable.
Even if his wife said, I gave the man the card, you shouldn't cause such a sin. Well, you could go to the pastor's house, not stopping him when he's driving. Because I don't believe that it happened. Maybe he stopped the man on the road and started. You should not have done this.
What I actually see here is lack of respect,
because
lack of communication.
That is why I said pastors should make finding, because of tomorrow.
The major things I actually feel with the lack in this story, everything is lack of respect, lack of communication, and lack of confidence.
If the lady had done the right thing,
there won't be problem.
No, I feel like the woman did it from a point of, she was just being open and just trying to like do something for God,
irrespective of.
Do you understand? So the man should have handled it.
She's not acting out of faith.
Let me tell you something.
She's so just surprised her husband now.
Bookie, let me tell you something. In as much as do you know that in as much as you want to show appreciation to God, in as much as you want to show appreciation to God, the person that God has placed over you, if you don't recognize that person and you bypass that person, You have disobeyed.
I say now surprise. She wants to surprise her husband.
That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. You have disobeyed. You have disobeyed.
The only way I will be disappointed in the pastor is only if person is already causing problem. If the pastor do not return the car, that is when I'll be disappointed in the pastor. Because God does not accept offering, or God does not accept anything, any offering that will cause things, to families.
Yeah.
So we've accepted it already. If it's already causing problem, a man of God will return it.
God will bless you. Yeah.
So meaning that car is not yours.
It's not, of course.
That is it. So what I'm trying to say, the reason why I'm bringing it from this angle is that we should not blame the pastor because he is accepting it because of it has caused trouble already.
It has caused trouble already.
Return it. Just to, not because of your own image, because it is right. It is biblical for you to return it. It is written in the Bible. Don't collect anything that will bring poem that will cause trouble to anyone. That is it.
Also, let me also reiterate what I said earlier before Ibuku, butted in. When I say that in as much as you want to reverence God, you want to obey God, if you disobeyed the person that God has placed over you, because God is a God of order.
Yes.
Understand? God is a God of order. If you have a man in the home and you want to do something, and there is nothing wrong in consulting your husband that, babe, I want to give this amount of money to the church, and if whether the man say yes or no, that's not the problem. The fact that you've already seek his consent, if he agrees, fine. If he doesn't agree, fine.
Get something else.
Get something else. So what I'm saying is that God is a God of order. Even before God can intervene in this planet Earth, he need our permission. You understand what I'm trying to say? God need our permission. God cannot do anything in this earth without us giving him that permission. So God is a God of order. That's what I'm trying to say.
When I saw the video, I was just laughing. That's the reason why I'm just joking around with it, because to me it's fun. So I'm just messing around and catching cruise with it, because I mean it's a very funny situation. I've only heard about some men saying, "Oh, my wife is using the pastor as a wallpaper on their phone." Like, what do you mean by that? You're using your pastor as a wallpaper. So me, I'm your husband.
You don't use me as a wallpaper.
Do you understand? That's what
That's idol. That's idolatry.
Is that what you think?
Yes, it's idol.
Exactly.
It's
I agree with that.
Yes, it's idol. It's idolatry.
That is it.
You are idolizing the man of God.
That is it. Because most, especially African mothers, I repeat it.
Yes.
Not African fathers, African mothers, they see their pastor as the second God.
That's
because they feel like that's where you see that most pastors, they are not poor. If you see a poor pastor, the people that will be in that church will be lower than pastor.
No, but you just like that picture of that pastor.
It is not like
no, the picture is
no, it is not like. It is because there is a certain thing they are seeing in pastor. They are seeing their pastor as their role model, their mentor. Like, no, there is something my pastor has achieved. I want to achieve more than that. Like, they've seen that God has answered their prayer. That when they pray to God of their own pastor, they will answer that. That's what they are putting. That's
idol.
So you can't make your pastor your wallpaper.
Can you make your pastor your wallpaper?
Like, I can't. It is my own choice.
My wallpaper is always Beyonce. That's my
Before I can actually put it, there will be a better communication. I can't just put it like that.
You could just talk to your husband about it first.
Why would I talk to my husband about it? Like, it will be a normal thing. Like, okay, let me just probably celebrating his birthday. Let me just, that one is different. But on a normal ground, now put him as. Doesn't make sense.
So what about you? Your wife uses a pastor as our wallpaper.
The wife I'm married can never do something. So I know my wife, she can never do something. She don't even get time all those things. She doesn't have time.
So you think it's idolatry for that small thing? You have just a phone screensaver.
Are you winding me up? Because
it's very interesting. Let me know what you think, guys, about this particular one. So I've only heard about the wallpaper screensaver thing. I didn't know that it has gotten to the stage of give me back my car, give me back my property, and yeah, that one was funny, and yeah.